Straight ahead on the Daily O. Cowboy football got themselves back into the win column. Saturday, find out what players and Coach Gundy had to say. The MLB World Series matchup has been made official between the Astros and Phillies. We'll tell you more on how both sides match off. Also, one school was fined $250,000 Sunday. Find out why. All this and more coming up on the Daily O. Happy Monday, everyone, and welcome back to the Daily O. I'm Tyler Tripodi, filling in for Grayson Singleton. Thanks for joining us. Cowboy football got themselves back into the win column in a comeback form to cap off a successful homecoming week in Stillwater. Our own Connor Bergen has more.
It doesn't matter how you start things off. What matters is how you finish. Oklahoma State looked to be on their way to their second loss of the season, going into the half off a Tanner Brown missed field goal to be down by 7. Into the second half, though, things immensely changed for the Cowboys, shutting out the Longhorn offense for the entire fourth quarter and also 2 timely interceptions to help seal a 41-34 win that would end up helping Oklahoma State advance to their 6th win of the season. To head coach Mike Gundy, what stands out the most was the grit shown from his squad.
It's big time because we play a lot of guys that never played football before. And so, you know, when you're in that situation and you're playing defense, you're trying to stop a team that's got 7 NFL guys playing, and you're playing with a bunch of freshmen out there. You know, it's a little bit scary, but they play. Gutsy's a good term. That's about what they did. They just kind of found a way to get it done.
We didn't play a good first half. You know, I mean, like we started off the game with a turnover, which was, you know, good. I mean, it's good to see, you know, us, you know, get the ball flipped over, but. You know, to start it and end it, it's great for this group. You know, man, we've been looking for that type of production, like throughout the year. It came at the right time.
The next man up. You're supposed to step in there and play like a vet. Make sure you listen to all the, you know, all the little details that we change and go throughout the week, and even in the game after a drive. Those guys did that. They stepped up. They played hard, and they played like a vet.
They were getting close to the end zone, so I knew they were going to go deep to number 0 because he had like 4 catches on that drive. So I was just waiting on. I was talking to God the whole way. So I was just like, I feel like I'm gonna make a play.
We always come out, play together, but it's like that we're always gonna fight to the end, no matter what it is. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep pushing. We're gonna fight to the very end. Because I mean, the game of football is about inches. It's never done until it's done. So until that clock hits 0, everybody's gonna keep playing their hearts out, keep busting their butts, and that's one thing I love about this team.
The Cowboys will look to continue their momentum going into next Saturday as they travel out to Manhattan to face off against the Kansas State Wildcats. Kickoff is set for 2:30 p.m. Reporting from Boone Pickens Stadium, Connor Bergen, Ocali TV.
Thanks for that, Connor. Following the win, the Cowboys have now regained their footing in the Associated Press Top 25 poll, coming in at number 9. When taking a closer look into the rankings, it was a quiet week in terms of teams making a massive move upwards, but that doesn't mean there weren't some teams that took quite a fall. Ole Miss dropped 8 spots following their lopsided 45-20 loss against the LSU Tigers, as the Rebels now fall down to number 15. The Rebels aren't alone, though, as one Big 12 team joins them in taking quite a fall. That team is the Cowboys, upcoming opponent with the Kansas State Wildcats. The Wildcats fell down 5 spots following their 38-28 loss against the TCU Horned Frogs. Let's take a quick break, but when we return, one star player in the NFL may be out of action for multiple weeks, and one school is facing a hefty fine from Saturday. We'll tell you more as we take a deep dive into our national headlines from throughout the weekend. Don't go anywhere. The Daily O will be right back.
We use the very best of the best ingredients. Demerara sugar is the best that is. Very high quality fruits, berries. The milk we use is the best milk there is. That's why it makes our product stand by itself. I like to make yogurt because I like to eat yogurt. We've been doing this for ourselves for many years because it's a tradition in our family. And we want to have a product which would be very similar to French yogurt, but with our touch of uniqueness, linking our name, our product, with the reputation of the Made in Oklahoma Coalition was probably the best thing we have done as far as promoting our product.
Our state is one of the most beautiful and unique states in the USA. With diverse geographies, the historic Route 66, unforgettable restaurants, and some of the greatest people on the planet. With so much to see and so much to do, living in Oklahoma means one of the best vacation spots is right in our own backyard. Doesn't this story need to be told? As filmmakers and photographers based right here in Oklahoma, we thought so. And hey, who doesn't like a good road trip? So, we packed up our cameras, teamed up with Lieutenant Governor Matt Pinnell and the Oklahoma Tourism and Recreation Department, and that's how this series was born. We want to show you why traveling within the great state of Oklahoma is a great idea. So come join us for thousands of miles over the next year, from Broken Bow to Black Mesa. This is the Oklahoma Road Trip.
We use the very best of the best ingredients. Demerara sugar is the best that is. Very high quality fruits, berries. The milk we use is the best milk there is. That's why it makes our product stand by itself. I like to make yogurt because I like to eat yogurt. We've been doing this for ourselves for many years because it's a tradition in our family. And we want to have a product which would be very similar to French yogurt, but with our touch of uniqueness, linking our name, our products, with the reputation of the Made in Oklahoma Coalition was probably the best thing we have done as far as promoting our product.
Welcome back into the Daily O. Tyler Tripodi filling in for Grayson Singleton. Time to take a dive into some national headlines from throughout this weekend. Zach Berger is in the studio with us to give the latest on all things happening throughout the nation. Zach?
Thanks, Tyler. In national news, Romanian tennis player Simona Halep is vowing to clear her name after being professionally suspended from tennis for testing positive for a banned substance. The former world #1 was found to have traces of roxadustat in her system from a sample given at the U.S. Open. It's a drug used to treat kidney issues and can increase hemoglobin, the protein which carries oxygen to the blood. In response, Halep described the ban as the biggest shock of her life, adding, "Today begins the hardest match of my life, a fight for the truth." She also added that she feels completely confused and betrayed. She said she will prove that she never knowingly took any prohibited substance. In some NFL news earlier in the weekend, it was announced that Broncos quarterback Russell Wilson is facing a torn hamstring that may keep him out even longer. So far, the Broncos haven't revealed the extent of the injury, but the NFL Network said tests earlier this week showed the partial tear. Classified as a grade 2 hamstring strain, the team ruled Wilson out on Saturday, and Brett Rypien took over as the starter in the 16-9 loss against the Jets on Sunday. The report said a partial tear usually causes a player to miss multiple weeks. The Broncos are scheduled to play the Jacksonville Jaguars next Sunday in London and then have a bye in Week 9. So Denver could be targeting a return for Wilson on November 13th at Tennessee. So far this season, Wilson has not been his usual self on the gridiron, completing a career-low 58% of his throws while placing 28th amongst quarterbacks in the QB rating. Finally, the SEC has fined LSU $250,000 Sunday afternoon due to fans storming the field. Following Saturday's 45-20 win over Ole Miss, the violation's LSU's third of the policy. The school's most recent violation had been after a win over the #2 Georgia in 2018. In a news release, the SEC said that the policy stated that access to competition areas shall be limited to participating student athletes, coaches, officials, support personnel, and properly credentialed individuals at times, for the safety of participants and spectators alike at no time before, during, or after a contest shall spectators be permitted to enter the competition area. It is the responsibility of each member institution to implement procedures to ensure compliance with this policy. Fines start at $50,000 for a first offense, up to $100,000 for a second offense, and up to $250,000 for a third and any subsequent violations. The fine comes 1 week after the SEC fined Tennessee $100,000 for its fans rushing the field after an upset over number 3 ranked Alabama. Tennessee fans took the goalposts and deposited them in the nearby Tennessee River. And last but not least, some bad news for Jets fans. Star running back Breece Hall was carted off the field late in the first half against the Denver Broncos. What looked to be a knee injury, an MRI later confirmed that Hall had suffered a torn ACL and a minor meniscus injury. Hall was building a strong case for Offensive Rookie of the Year, rushing for over 450 yards on 80 carries and tallying up 4 touchdowns. The rookie averaged 5.8 yards per carry, helping the Jets to a 5-2 start on their season. But this injury will sideline and end Hall's impressive rookie season just after 7 games. Moving on over to the MLB, the 2022 World Series is now underway between the Houston Astros and the Philadelphia Phillies. The Phillies were the surprise of the playoffs this year, coming into October with only 88 wins and finishing the month of September going 11-14. The power-hitting squad led by Bryce Harper, Nick Castellanos, JT Realmuto looks to bring the city of brotherly love its first World Series ring since 2008. But they have to get through the hottest team in the postseason. The Astros have swept their way into the World Series, taking down the Seattle Mariners and then completing their sweep against the New York Yankees, led by Yordan Alvarez and a pitching staff that has been electric all year. This battle will go down to the wire. Well, that's all we have from the sports desk. Back to you, Tyler.
Thank you for that, Zach. Let's take another break, but when the Daily O returns, Cowgirl Golf continues to compete in San Marcos, Texas. How are they holding up so far? Also, the Thunder are looking to get themselves into the win column. Did they pull it off last night? Find out that and more. The Daily O will be right back.
We would design something, it was set on the counter, and people was either, if enough of them said, you know, this isn't it, it never made to the line. Dad was excited that they're all original. They were all designed on Mom's kitchen table, and it gets in your blood after a while.
We're very happy that Pamela and Michael have taken over the business and kept the family going.
We took the business over in 2017. When we found that it was available, we wanted to keep the legacy of family alive, but it was also incredible products that deserved to be a part of Made in Oklahoma's story. We were a part of Made in Oklahoma years ago, and so it kind of grew as Made in Oklahoma grew.
Oklahoma is ingrained into everything that we did. We've been here most of our life. That's what we entailed our whole business on, was the Oklahoma homegrown feeling.
A Golf Digest 5-star course, best new public course won an Open in 1994, and a top 100 public golf course in America since 2003. This course, just 5 miles outside of Stillwater, Oklahoma on Highway 51, is named after one of the influential golf pioneers this game has known.
Karsten Creek.
Karsten Creek.
Karsten Creek.
Karsten Creek.
Karsten Creek's a modern golf course.
The beauty of the course is in large part to the elements of the grounds. The Georgia fairway is transformed from its original forested landscape. Georgia was used to combat the tough winters so golfers could play year-round. The greens are large and sloping bent grass hills. The low-cut bent grass can be similar to glass during peak championship conditions. The bunkers surrounding most holes remind golfers of a white beach rather than a deep hazard. Lake Louise, surrounded by the second 9, completes the perfect finishing hole. The long par 72 course perfectly combines nature with the difficulty of a championship course. Karsten's added challenge is the Oklahoma wind.
So there aren't any other schools in the country that have that same commitment to college golf as we do here at Oklahoma State.
But if you're going to play at the highest level, you've got to be able to focus on where you want to go, and Karsten Creek does a good job of training you to do that, because if you don't, you're going to have a long day. And that's a great legacy that Coach Holder left, because that's the way he coached.
Welcome welcome back into the Daily O. While Cowboy football was successful against Texas, the same cannot be said for Cowgirl soccer. The Cowgirls dropped their senior night matchup Sunday night. Nathan Shell has more.
Oklahoma State might have defeated the Texas Longhorns in homecoming football this weekend, but on the soccer pitch, it was a different story. On Sunday afternoon, the two universities collided, with Texas beating OSU on their senior day 2-1. It was a windy afternoon at Neil Patterson Stadium for the 1 o'clock showdown between the Longhorns and Cowgirls. After a great opportunity from Grace Yoakum that was saved by Texas's keeper, the Longhorns responded strongly, dominating the first half and time of possession. Longhorn forward Jilly Shimkin nutmegged a defender and snuck one past Jordan Knights in the 30th minute to give the Longhorns an early lead, which they took to the half. The Cowgirls used the second half tailwind to their advantage, getting multiple great looks on goal, none of which found the back of the net. Coach Carmichael said that this was a pivotal period that could have changed the outcome of the game.
Right, the first half we didn't have many looks, but the second half, you know, that first 10 minutes, I think we had 4 good chances to score. And I think if we buried one of them, it's a different game. But, you know, they do a good job of keeping the ball, you know, and that kind of slowed the game down in the second half, which is what I would have done if I was them too.
Texas added insurance to their lead in the 62nd minute when star forward Trinity Byers placed a beautiful shot in the bottom left of the goal to put Texas up 2-0. However, the Cowgirls were not going down without a fight on senior day. Freshman Xavier Pineda lasered a goal in the upper 90 to give OSU a glimmer of hope. She reflected on the gem of a shot post-game.
Should be on ESPN. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it was a pretty good shot, but I don't know. Hopefully, maybe that'd be cool.
But despite the Longhorns receiving a red card late in the game, the Cowgirls couldn't make up the lost ground, losing 2-1. All-time OSU leading goal scorer Grace Yoakum reflected on her career here with Oklahoma State.
No, it's been nothing short of amazing. You know, I wasn't always supposed to come here, so it was definitely a God thing, the reason I'm here, and it's truly been the best experience of my life, and I've loved every minute of it. I feel like I just got here. I can't believe I'm here, but it's been nothing short of amazing. I love the coaches, my teammates. I just wish it wasn't over yet. Like, we still got a ton to play for in terms of Big 12 tournament. There's still a whole tournament left, and then into the Lays. You know, we're probably a bubble team now, but we just got to keep fighting. The season's not over. This is a hard ending to this amazing facility for sure, but it's not over. It's not over, and we got to keep reiterating that for sure.
Although Oklahoma State's home matches might be over, their season isn't. The Cowgirls travel to Waco, Texas for a 7 p.m. showdown against the Baylor Lady Bears on Thursday. After that, it's on to the Big 12 playoffs. Reporting from Neil Patterson Stadium for the O-Collie, I'm Nathan Shell.
Thanks for that, Nathan. Back to some Oklahoma State athletics. Cowgirl golf is back in action, looking to capture their first tournament title of the season. With a 7-stroke lead 36 holes into the Jim West Challenge, the Cowgirls are well on their way, thanks in large part to Han Swan Yu. Yu finished the day tied for first at 6 under par, her best score of the season. Other key contributors to the Cowgirls' success are Rena Tate-Matsu, who enters the final round in the top 10, Clemence Martin, who finished the day at an even par, and Madison Hinson-Tolchard, who is tied for 20th. The Cowgirls will look to secure the victory today as they began their final round at 8:30 this morning. Back to the national side of sports, let's take a look at the NFL, where the Chicago Bears travel to Foxborough to take on the New England Patriots in a Monday Night Football matchup. The Patriots are coming off of back-to-back wins, including last week's 38-15 win in Cleveland. As for the Bears, they are looking to bounce back after 3 straight losses, all of which have come on the road. The main storyline of tonight's game will be the reported return of Mac Jones at quarterback. Bailey Zappi has performed admirably in his absence, posting a 2-1 record. Jones is finally ready to go after being sidelined with an ankle injury since Week 3. Kickoff is set for 7:15 at Gillette Stadium. Let's take one final break, but when the Daily O returns, let's turn the clocks back to what happened on this day in sports history, as well as one more quick look into your national headlines. The Daily O will be right back.
Ace in the Bowl salsa started many, many years ago. I was trying to find a recipe to take to a family gathering, and so I started messing around with different recipes, and I took a little bit from here and a little bit from there, and I came up with a salsa that is truly unique. Ace in the Bowl salsa is an olive oil based salsa with tomatoes, green chilies, green onions, and black olives. There's no sugar added, it's gluten free, low calorie, low carb, low fat, low sodium. So it's a very, very, very good alternative to any snack you may want. As of right now, I'm just looking to be in Oklahoma and having a successful business within the state. If my grandkids could ever take it over when they're old enough, that would be my dream.
My name's Kayla. I've been here since the beginning, so 4 years. Scratch is more focused on farm and mostly made in Oklahoma products, keeping it local. Sustainability is our biggest thing. That's one of the reasons why this place opened.
I've been the chef here at Scratch for 2.5 years. Started here as a line cook. Our food and drinks are a bit separate entities almost inside the restaurant. So the food is now up to 85% of the products we bring in are raised or grown locally. It's all based off of things that I grew up eating in southern Oklahoma, the things my grandparents ate.
Fresh food, clean food, organic food, sustainability, that's all of our thing. From front of house to back of house, we're able to maintain both with freshness. But made in Oklahoma means we get it straight from the farms that are 20, 30 minutes, another little county away. We get it straight from them.
Over the years, we kind of realized that you can get ribs anywhere, you can get a steak anywhere, but you can't always get a Mountain View hot link like ours. So we really decided to focus on that niche and realized we had something really special. So that's when we started focusing more on the hot links, but it's still the same family recipe they were making all those years ago. For us, many of our people that work here have been with us for years and decades. So whereas machines kind of break down over time, the people just get better. And it shows in the products we produce. When you buy a Mountain View product, not only is it gonna taste dynamite, but you're also feeding Oklahomans. You're helping employ Oklahomans, and you're helping to fund the state's economy. So what's better than that?
Time now to begin turning the clocks back as we take a look at what happened on this day in sports history. Now, in 1963, Sandy Koufax was voted the unanimous winner of a Cy Young Award, and in 2021, Tom Brady became the first quarterback in NFL history to record 600 touchdown passes. Now, let's go ahead and say some happy birthdays around the sports world. Wayne Rooney turns 37 today, and he was the coach for Derby County and DC United, but he was also the former midfielder for England, Everton, and Manchester United. Jim Peters, who unfortunately passed away back in 1999, was an English long-distance runner and first to complete a marathon in under 2 hours and 20 minutes. Now, before we let you go, it's time to take one last look into your national headlines from throughout the weekend. Romanian tennis player Simona Halep is vowing to clear her name after being provisionally suspended from tennis for testing positive for a banned substance. The former world number one was found to have traces of roxadustat in her system from a sample given at the U.S. Open. It's a drug used to treat kidney issues and can increase hemoglobin, the protein which carries oxygen in the blood. In response, Halep described the ban as the biggest shock of her life, adding, "Today begins the hardest match of my life, a fight for the truth." She also added that she feels completely confused and betrayed. She said she will prove that she never knowingly took any prohibited substance. Into some NFL news, earlier in the weekend it was announced that Broncos quarterback Russell Wilson is facing a torn hamstring that may keep him out even longer. So far, the Broncos haven't revealed the extent of the injury, but NFL Network said tests earlier this week showed the partial tear classified as a grade 2 hamstring strain. The team ruled Wilson out on Saturday, and Brett Rypien took over as the starter in the 16-9 loss against the Jets on Sunday. The report said a partial tear usually causes a player to miss multiple weeks. The Broncos are scheduled to play the Jacksonville Jaguars next Sunday in London, and then have a bye week in Week 9. so Denver could be targeting a return for Wilson on November 13th at Tennessee. So far this season, Wilson has not been his usual self on the gridiron, completing a career-low 58% of his throws while placing 28th among quarterbacks in QB ratings. Finally, the SEC has fined LSU $250,000 Sunday afternoon due to fans storming the field following Saturday's 45-20 win over Ole Miss. The violation was LSU's third of the policy. The school's most recent violation had been after a win over then number 2 Georgia in 2018. In a news release, the SEC said that the policy stated that at no time before, during, or after a contest shall spectators be permitted to enter the competition area. It is the responsibility of each member institution to implement procedures to ensure compliance with this policy. Fines start at $50,000 for a first offense, up to $100,000 for a second offense, and up to $250,000 for a third and any subsequent violations. The fine comes 1 week after the SEC fined Tennessee $100,000 for its fans rushing on the field after an upset win over then number 3 ranked Alabama. That will do it for our show tonight. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to tune in tomorrow to the Daily O as Emma Lightfoot will keep you updated on everything happening in the sports world. For the Daily O, I'm Tyler Tripodi. Good night, everyone.
Hi, I'm Shauna here at Where the Buffalo Roam in beautiful downtown Pawnee, Oklahoma. We have a lot of beautiful and unique items for sale in the store, but our #1 items are Navajo jewelry, Pendleton blankets, and Consuela. It's a great place to shop, a beautiful downtown, so come see us in Pawnee, Oklahoma.
My name is James Remedi. Fired Up Stilly is the name of the business, and I'm one of the owners. We all three met, the 3 owners, working as employees at a similar place like this. What I hope for is for everybody to feel welcome, like family. Not only do I want students to feel welcome to come here and study and use our free Wi-Fi, but also I want adults and families to be able to come in. We've built a connection with a lot of people, and Stillwater's a big community, so we just want to invite everybody to be able to eventually make their way through our doors. Well, definitely the teas, I would say. Most people fall in love with them. They just got a great amount of energy, gets you going through your day, and it just kickstarts you to get everything you need to done. For myself, it would just have to be, being the owner, owning something that, is able to impact other people's lives, and, the way we can affect our community is something that I really have always wanted to do. We love our clients and our customers that come through every day, and we enjoy getting to know them.
Hopes are when folks drink our water is that they'll drink it for a few days and find out the difference. They'll start feeling better because there's been no chemical in our water. There's a list of good things that we have. We don't have any bad things in it. I see the future of Divine Water as being worldwide, which will bring outside dollars into the state. It means a lot to me because I started it, I guess, and our family started it.
You may have been to casinos at some point in your life, but do you really know the truth behind the game you're playing?
And the casinos were very polemic or very controversial when they came out, but the truth was that's all the federal government gave us.
Casino is owned by the Chickasaw Nation and has roughly 600,000 square feet of dedicated gambling space, making it the world's largest casino. It contributed massively to the Chickasaw Nation, posting a net revenue of $1.4 billion for the fiscal year of 2017.